we had the honor to ask Dr. Wasim Sisi some questions to know more. What are the factors that unite the Egyptian people?
I think there are many factors which unite the Egyptian people, but the most important of them, first of all, is the history, the ancient Egyptian history, which is probably around 5,000 years when Egypt was united and no people from outside and so on. In this era, people were united because it was only one religion, and the customs were nearly the same among all people. Second factor is civilization. Dawn of Consciousness of James Ham Breasted, he says that morals in ancient Egypt is far superior to the Ten Commandments in the Old Testament. And because of these high morals, and because the ancient Egyptian man or woman knew that his death, there is life after life, and he will be interrogated and asked this. So he was well prepared to say about the negative confession, no. For example, did you steal, did you kill, did you commit adultery, did you, even did you torture plant by forgetting to water the plant? Even were you a cause of misery of an animal? Look at that. Did you treat any person who is inferior to you because you are superior to him? These were sample of the questions which the ancient Egyptians knew that they have to answer. Moreover, they knew that they will say, I was an eye for the blind, a hand for the paralyzed, a leg for the crippled, a father for the orphan, and so on. That's why these morals crystallized into civilization. Civilization is a word which comes from the word civility. And civility is a dictionary word which means politeness, good manners, and treatment to others. So this civilization united the ancient Egyptians, and they knew how to treat each other. And another factor was the agriculture itself. The agriculture taught people in ancient Egypt love and cooperation.
How?
They have to be together so as they can culture. I can't culture alone with myself. You have to help me, you have to help me, all people. Also, we have together, hand in hand, so as to create the harvest. Not only that, we have to be together so as to face the flood every year. So the land and the water and the river Nile taught people how to love each other. Comparatively, if you look at the people in the desert, either you or me to live because of rarity. But in Egypt, there is the lot of fish in the water, a lot of wheat, and so on.
Another factor. What is another factor?
Another factor, and I think the last one and most important, is that they are physically the same. Look at the Egyptians at the moment. You can't differentiate if this person is a Muslim or Christian. I can't tell if you are Muslim or Christian. You can tell if I am Muslim or Christian unless you look at the golden ring in my... And this is a wicked attitude from outside so as to differentiate these people, so as that one who has a veil, this means that she is a Muslim, the other one is not, and so on. This golden one means that Christian, that
The silver
that
other
one which is of silver means that he is a Muslim, and so on. This one of the factors to separate people from each other.
Okay.
And because, anyway,
The
so
characteristics of the Egyptian
physically
character.
we are the same, and not only that, go back to the superb research work of Margaret Kendall. She is a genetist, genetic engineering, genes. She did a research from 1994 till 1999. And these 5 years, they discovered that the Aryan race is not pure, the Germans. The Jewish are not pure. The Jewish who lives in Russia, the same as the Russians. Those who live in the United States as United States. Those in England,
Egypt as Egypt.
the same. And she came to Egypt and she said, I took samples from Aswan to Alexandria, from the Western Desert to the Eastern Desert, from cities, from the countryside, even from the clinics of doctors. And it was a cultural shock when I found that 97% of the genes is the same among the Muslims and Christians. And they are the same genes of the pharaohs. So we are
Same.
one population, one people, one crowd. Genetically, physically, historically, and these are the most important factors which unite... pardon?
What are the characteristics of the Egyptian character?
The most important characters of the Egyptians...
Egyptians only.
Of the Egyptians?
Yes.
Yes. First is that Egyptians are religious by nature. Simply because they are the first who told the whole world that there is life after life, and there is judgment, and there is paradise and fire. That's why James Ham breasted his great book, Dawn of Consciousness. The world was in darkness till the Egyptians came and told them that there is God. And so you see that God and life after life, world after this world, is deeply ingrained in the Egyptian chromosomes. So the first characteristic is that we are religious by nature. And anyone who tries to touch the religion of any Egyptian, he or she is in hell. The second thing is that because the Egyptians know that they have a great history, try to recapitulate the words of Jean-Francois Champollion, who said, imagination fails and falls lifeless at the feet of ancient Egyptian civilization. Majority of the Egyptians know that we teach people history. We are father of history. And that's why you find the Egyptians having pride. They feel that they are superior. In spite of illiteracy, and poverty.
Unfortunately.
And that's why people usually call the Egyptians pharaohs. You see?
Yes.
The third thing is that the sense of humor. Ancient Egyptians are characterized by the sense of humor. They usually, even in the darkest times, they try to create a joke. You know? So this is a very important character. The last thing in their characters is that they are problem solving. They are very clever, very clever. Probably because of the pressure of literacy, pressure of the rulers. Remember that we are under occupation since 2,500 years. It started since 525 BC, Camphis, the Persian invasion. Persian invasion 1, Persian invasion 2. So many of these rulers were exploiting the population, very aggressive, very no justice at all, and so on. So the Egyptians learned how to face such people, and this needed intelligence and wisdom and problem solving. The common thing among all countries which are suffering of poverty, ignorance, misery, the common thing among all these countries is lack of justice, lack of sovereignty of law. It is absent. The law is absent. And once the law is absent, you can expect poverty and misery and so on in any country. So the first thing the governor has to stress upon it is the law. Sovereignty of the law. This is very important. The second thing is that the meaning of citizenship. Before Muhammad Ali Pasha, citizenship was by one of four or four from four race, Turkish or bloody Egyptian, Kharsis, as the Turks was usually calling it, religion, Muslim or not, how much you are near to the ruler, whether relative to the ruler by blood or by working beside him, and the financial status, whether you are rich or poor. After Muhammad Ali Pasha, and the citizenship had another meaning because of France, England, and so on. The citizenship had another meaning in two words: incident of birth. You are born on this land, Egypt, you have all rights and all commitments of any other one who is born on the same land, a part of race, religion, how much he or she is near to the ruler, and the financial status. So citizenship is very important to have this meaning, incident of birth, the same. But what we are hearing nowadays is the same as the era before Muhammad Ali Pasha. So this is the second point, citizenship. How this law 5,000 years ago was international in its aims, just in its items, clear in its wordings. It was a surprise for all historians, so much so that the Greek thinker Solon came to Egypt, and the Egyptians taught him the law, and he returned back to Greece and called the law of Solon. And then Rome came and she took the law of Greece and called it Justinian law. Then Napoleon Bonaparte came and took the law from Rome and called it the law of Napoleon Bonaparte. And then we came and took from France, and Dr. Selimi and Dr. Dessouki says, so this is our good, and came back to us. This is our law, and came back to us after a big journey to Greece, to Rome, to France, and then it came to us. But we are the owner of this law.
What do you hope for Egypt in the next era?
There is a great hope, but there will be a lot of fight and struggle among the different factions which is present in the country. And one of the very important differentiation and conflicts, those people who went out and came back. But people are not aware of this because they carry different thoughts, you know.
What are the hopes on the political scene? What do you see Egypt?
Unless the Muslim brothers put Egypt first and El Jamaa second, there will be a lot of trouble and there will be a lot of shedding blood in this country. They have to know that Egypt is not for one society or one group or one people. They have to know that Egypt for all. And look at the United States, for example. Hundreds of languages, hundreds of religions, and all of them United States, America. And that's why America having a flag on the moon. So multiplicity, different religions, different so on, so on, so on, is a good thing. We can make use of this. But to have anyone should be related to Muslim brothers, of course will not.
Thank you very much, Dr.
Thank you.
Wasim Sisi. Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you.
Şere